third last match, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, it's Brute versus Kimp. And the winner of this will go to face Nax in the losers finals, I guess they're called. I don't know.
Then they will determine who's the biggest loser.
Yes, and the biggest loser shall face Kamol in the actual finals or something. But yeah.
Yeah, the grand finals.
And it's I'm Noobest, and with me here is fantastic Mr. Miltrade.
Hello.
And will be your commentary tonight.
So this is Dark Souls 1. Super old game. Giant. Super old, that's why I need a remaster. So we were gonna have a slightly different route from the beginning. I'm not sure what they are doing. Are you aware?
No, I don't know anything. I'm just here to keep you company.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, Nubes used to play Dark Souls 1 though, until he got corrupted by Tanimura.
Tanimura did nothing wrong. So seems like Kimp started with Thief and the Black Fire Bombs, and Brood is going for... Wait, what class did he start? Oh,
yeah, he started with...
So Kimp's gonna have a slightly faster Asylum, and he already killed the Asylum Demon, which is the first boss if you didn't know him. But now you do, so you can thank me later.
You'll see cutscenes of Asylum Demon later on, so you'll be fine.
Brood's gonna fight him in like 5 seconds or something. It's just gonna say this is gonna be a battle, and what a battle it shall be.
What a battle it shall be.
Yeah, Asylum Demon's a pretty simple fight. You get the punch attack on him, and that does like 60% of his health or something, even more. And then you just hit him a few times after that, and he dies. And yeah, Kimp's gonna run through the Berg right now. I assume he's going to buy something from the merchant, but I'm not 100% sure since I'm not quite certain what route he's going for. And Brute's gonna head the same way, and he's probably gonna also buy something from the merchant.
Yeah, we're gonna see the divergence between both, but they both have been having quite fast runs. It's all under 125, yeah. But they've been going up and down. Some faster, some slower.
I predict Kimp's gonna buy a bow, because bow is a very useful item in this game. Yeah, but Brood already has a bow, so he's probably not going to buy one.
I like this prediction.
Oh, he didn't buy a bow.
He didn't buy a bow. Dang!
Oh, I guess he's gonna pick up the bow in Darkroot. The surprises. Oh, this is gonna be a wild night.
So why right here?
Brood's going for the bottomless box too. They're both gonna use the quantity storage glitch, I assume. There's like literally no other reason to buy the bottomless box in a speedrun. So what you can do with the quantity storage is basically duplicate any item. Well, not any item. Any item you can put in the bottomless box. Yeah. Like you can. Yeah, it's very useful. It's kind of. Like, I think the fastest routes don't actually use it, because it does take some setup and some, like, takes time to do, so if you don't need it, then you can just, like, skip it. And, well, here's another boss fight, Taurus Demon. Kimp got the resin from the chest, and with the normal bandit knife, he... Ooh.
Ouch.
He wouldn't be doing like any damage at all, but the resin is very strong early game in this game, so basically all the damage he's doing it comes from the resin at this point. And Brute's gonna do the same fight with a different weapon, but still resin just destroys the floors. Same happens to Gargoyles actually. Brute almost got the Taurus jump off. That's probably wouldn't have even saved him any time since it happened so late. Ooh.
Oh my god, that was like...
Taurus fights were really scary.
2 bolts in the face by the start.
Yeah.
The crossbow holes on the top. Jeez. Yeah, that was spooky.
Right here, Kim's cutting the Drake's tail to get the Drake sword. It's a very strong weapon early on, but then it does like nothing because it doesn't scale with your stats. But yeah, so you can cut the Drake's tail with the resin and any weapon basically. It's 3 hits to cut it. If you read some guide online on where to get a good weapon early on, you probably start mention of the Drake sword and how you can use like 50 arrows. Yeah, cut it off by shooting him and waiting for him to go back up. But this is like the way faster way of doing that.
Yeah, it's like what, 3 seconds versus 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, Kim's
very, very close. The only basically the difference that from the asylum is what they are having here. They're keeping the difference from the asylum.
Yeah, but Kim still doesn't have a bow, so he can't do a move swap yet.
Yeah.
And
Kim's probably gonna take a trip now to get our TSR.
Yeah, and get the bow at the same time, I suppose. No, he's going
for... Oh, he's gonna kill gargoyles first, it seems.
Yeah, that's fine too. Gargoyles with resin is pretty fast fine. And Brute's gonna go for the Senskate skip here. So yeah, the routes are completely different from now on. That's the guess. What Brute did there was parry the hollow and then do the riposte animation. That puts him outside the the outside area where there's a kill box, but just above the kill box there is I don't know, like a trigger thing that makes your camera do this. During this camera, the game thinks you're dead because like how is it gonna fall in the kill box and die? But now nothing will basically loads in the game, so he's going to the Sense Fortress right now, and the gate is not loaded, so he can walk straight through that and then quit out and go back in the game, and he'll be in Sense Fortress without having to open the gate. And Kim's gonna fight the gargoyles now with the Drake sword. He bought the rapier earlier to use it with bow that I assume he's going to get later to do the what's it called? Move swap.
Move swap. A bit of a messy fight.
Yeah, this is.
But he seems to have it under control.
Yeah, this fight can get a little messy if you. Yeah, if this happens like that, if you have to fight 2 gargoyles at the same time, the fight can get a little messy, but he should be fine here. The Drake sword is very strong, so yeah, he's fine. Meanwhile, Brute is just running through Sense Fortress. Nothing special here, you just run through. This place is like, I guess a lot of people consider it like hard area, but if you just run through and know what you're doing, it's just a breeze.
Yeah, compared to all the compared to enemies, really, Sense Fortress is absolutely reliable. Everything happens the same way every time.
Well, I guess the lightning snakes are a little bit different, but it's like doesn't matter.
Yeah, easily dodgeable. Punch to the face as usual. But yeah, Sense Fortress is super reliable.
And Kim's finished with gargoyles. He's gonna go get Tartiasar now, I assume. First gonna talk to Andre and buy something. Oh, Smith box, okay. And
getting
arrows.
The wooden arrows for the quantity storage later, and getting this weapon Smith box so he can upgrade the, what I'm guessing is gonna be the dragon.
Yeah. So the arrows, you with the quantity storage, you need just an item of some sort, like the arrows that you have multiples of. So he bought like 999 of them or something, and that allows him to get that many of the other item he wants to get. So he's gonna probably get the Dragon Tooth +5, and with the he's gonna get a Dragon Scale from somewhere, maybe Blight Zone, maybe Undead Dragon, who knows? Oh, he missed that jump there. Okay, that's fine.
Managed to quit all the time.
Yeah, you can quit out very very easily. Well, most of the time very easily. If you have a long fall like that, then it's not a problem at all. You have plenty of time to put out during the fall and you won't die.
He's getting bow, so he can move slow.
I'm just gonna pick up the Crest shield here to increase your stamina region. It's not used that much, but like you run right past it, so you might as well grab it. You can't have a shield equipped and you have the move swap on, so...
Yeah, it's literally for the random section. Still could be nice.
Yeah, but you wouldn't pick it up if it wasn't literally there.
Yeah.
And Brute Garden go up there, he falls off the edge and dies. There's like a damage threshold you have to do to his legs to stagger him, and then another damage threshold to make him fall back a bit, and if he's facing towards the ledge, he just falls off and dies. And Kimp is gonna get the most broken item in the game, the Red Tearstone Ring.
What are you broken? It's extremely well balanced.
So broken. Like, people think speedruns of Dark Souls are hard because you have to use RTSR to go fast, but that actually makes it easier.
No, but for the rafters, I missed if he if he used the Anor Londo bonfire or not. I don't think he did.
I'm not sure. He might be going for a ESM, which is equipment something manipulation?
Not manipulation.
Yeah, slot, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah,
that's,
he's gonna... basically, he's not gonna get RTSR, he's just gonna trick the game into using another item in the ring slot, which has the same idea of RTSR. So it's gonna be exactly the same as having RTSR equipped.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of time,
happens
but
to be the
cannot get it early.
Happens to be the red sign soapstone, which is in the painted wall.
They're both red.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Which I think is, yeah, it makes sense, right?
And Kimp is gonna do the sense get skip right here now, so... It's hard to say who's actually in the lead right now, because like neither of them has had any major mistakes. Kimp's gargoyle fight was a bit slow, sure, but he didn't die or anything, so it's like they're pretty much even, I would say now. I'm not sure which route is faster. I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I guess Brute's route is like in theory faster, but in practice in a race, I'm not sure if that's gonna like be realized. So Iron Golem got a lot of souls, so Brute's just gonna do a level up here. He didn't get 10 on the bonfire, so he's gonna go to the ONS now, I guess? Or what? What is he gonna do?
Yeah, he's gonna go for ONS. And after that, he should be trying to get to the Painter World as soon as he can. So
yeah,
he can get
gonna go
RTSR.
to Prey, I assume.
But he was doing a route that before that he would do entire isolate without RTSR. And then he broke into war. I don't know if he's gonna do that again. I don't know if he kept doing that on the last few races, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. These routes are crazy.
Crazy.
Back in my day, we had to do things in order.
Like, you just stick to the plan?
Yeah, like all these whippersnappers and their crazy routes, just skipping bosses all over. No, but the routes are very cool now. You can do so much cool stuff in this game.
Yeah, quantity storage actually brought not really parity to different routes, but made them a lot more viable than before. But that will take like 5-6 minutes more before. Now it's just like they're just like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes slower.
Yeah, it's very nice. Kimp there took damage intentionally to set up Red Tearstone Ring. So to have Red Tearstone Ring active, you have to have below 20% health. That gives you a huge damage buff to any weapon you're using. So for most fights, he's going to be at about this health. So he'll die in one hit from pretty much everything. But he will kill the bosses way faster.
Yeah, that's the thing. What you're talking about before. Like RTSR does put you on a very dangerous threshold, but at the same time, the more damage you do to a boss, the less chances the boss has to do any like fancy jumping back or anything like that.
Yeah, or any
So the
bad
fights do
patterns
become
or attacks.
yeah. So fights do become a lot more consistent. And if you pair that with move swap, which gives you a ton of damage and a ton of stagger, that's even better. Especially
Oh
with
yeah.
jumpy bosses like Artorias or Ornstein.
Yeah, Kimp has his Drake Sword move swap right now with the Rapier, so his running attack with the Drake Sword is a double hit. Instead of the normal overhead swing or whatever the hell it is with the Drake Sword. And Brood's gonna get his weapon of choice, the Dragon Tooth, right now. Kimp kinda missed hits on Iron Golem. I think he was intending to stagger him earlier, but well, he's got it now.
Yeah,
So.
it seems like he missed one of the double attacks twice, so he had to do one extra swing.
He might have done the second one intentionally
Oh, he went for the fancy backstep through the
Yeah.
fire.
It looks dangerous, but I think it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, the thing with the fire is that it hits in waves, and there's a huge. It happens the same thing with Quillax's lava. You can just hit the lava, and then you can just walk in the lava for about 3-4 seconds before it hits you again. You have
Yeah,
like a huge window.
Yeah. The reason he backstepped into it is because while backstepping you can't be staggered, so he can just, if you ran into it normally, you get staggered backwards and you can't actually run, but when you backstep into it, you can just run through it while taking the damage. And Brood's showing off the move swap Dragon Tooth here. He doesn't have the RTSR or any upgrades on his Dragon Tooth, so he doesn't actually completely destroy the boss. He has to kind of fight him, but I mean, it's pretty good still.
I'm getting instant stagger, same with the smoke.
Yeah, Smo is very, very easy with this weapon.
Yeah.
With the move swap, he just gets to do nothing.
And that was honest.
Yeah, it's like the hardest boss in the game or something, I don't know. At least it used to be, I don't know. With move swap, it's so much easier.
Yeah, move swap is one of the, I would say it's the first barrier to get into the fast routes and speedrunning Dark Souls. It is not an extremely complicated glitch to trigger, but it's very hard to understand what the hell is going on when you're starting. It could take you like from minutes to hours to days to get it once, but once you get it once, you kind of get
like,
the rhythm to do it.
so,
It's like, oh, so that's how it works.
Yeah, there's like a, what you do is...
Right.
Sorry, go on.
But yeah, it's a major hurdle at the beginning, but it's not complicated to do. It's not super precise, and it's not as fast as possible, which a lot of people think it is. But it does require a bit of dedication and practice to get it going at the beginning.
Yeah, so what you do to trigger the move swap is normally you can't two-hand left-hand weapons in this game. So you put your bow in your left hand, which you can two-hand since you can't do anything with the bow, it's not two-handed. So the game allows you to do that. So you put the bow on your left hand, and the weapon you want to have the moveset of in your right hand. And then you do a jump roll or whatever. Jump is what speedrunners use since it's the, well, not the fastest, since fast roll would be the fastest, but it's consistent and not slower by like, I don't know, 3 frames, I don't know. It's like the easiest way to do it consistently. And so you two-hand the bow while in mid-action or like the jump, and then you swap out the weapon, the bow, to the weapon you want to have the moveset of the other weapon on. So you two-hand your left-hand weapon, and then you have the moveset of the right-hand weapon in your running and rolling attacks. And also the plunge, I think. But that's not really, that doesn't really come into play in any of these runs.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much those. The rest is gonna be all normal attacks. But it's all you need.
Backstep attack is same as running attack, so that's
yeah,
also
it's pretty much, it is the running attack.
Yeah, it's just, it happens to you. Bruce gonna destroy gargoyles right now. It's a hard fight.
Delete gargoyles.
Poor gargoyles. They never stood a chance.
Oh, he did try to survive. dangerous species, by the way. Only 4 left.
Yeah. And Kimp's getting the Dragon Tooth now. Ooh. Failed the dupe on the... Oh yeah, that's another glitch. The confirmation box dupe. Any item that has a confirmation box before you use it, like the homeward bone, you can dupe by queuing an action, or queuing the action while doing some other action, and then using another item through your menu. Then it preserves the item you want to use and consumes one of the items that you picked, usually Estus, since you don't really need Estus that much in a speedrun, and it only uses 1 charge anyway, so...
Darkstein is also very nice, but if you mess it up, you might be
Yeah.
in trouble. So now Kim doing ONS with the same Dragon Tooth, but with RTSR, it's basically gonna be a lot less hits.
Gonna be 3 hit, oh, 4 hit Armstrong, I guess, if you count as 1 running it has 2 hits.
Oh, the second, because he was in the air, he didn't get hit by the second hit of the running attack. That was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now with this, Brood is clearly in the lead.
Yeah, but there's a
not by
lot
much.
of the run still left.
Yeah, there's a more. Yeah, there's a lot. There's an hour at least. Still to go.
And Brute's not gonna have as good of a weapon later on. Well, actually, he did get the bomb. Never mind, he's gonna get Dragon Tooth +5, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brute's gonna go to Blighttown now. Normally, before going to Sins, you would have to go down here and ring the other bell. The first bell was after Gargoyles, and the other bell is down here in Blighttown. But since he's been to Sins already, he can just do the whole Blighttown segment, which includes like all of the Demon Runes and Lost Izalith also in one go. That way, reducing the amount of times he has to go down here. Otherwise, you would have to do this part twice basically. So now that you can just skip Sense Gate, you save a lot of time by not having to do the run down twice. Okay, Kimp's managed to kill Ornstein here. Smo shouldn't pose a problem. Oh, he's actually not using RTSR this time.
Yeah, he went for a slower fight, but a fight that allows for one mistake, really.
Oh,
You can get hit.
well, he's
yeah,
alive! He's alive!
Yeah, you can get hit once.
Yeah, and now he's in RTSR, so it's 4 shots. All planned. And Brute got the Dragon Scale there. That's the thing that you can upgrade the Dragon Tooth with. So now he can use the quantity storage to get 1,000,000 Dragon Scales and upgrade his weapon to +5. I guess he's gonna do the Isolate segment without RTSR too.
Yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do. The other option he has is he can use the Doublet of Chaos Bonfire, do quantity storage, then go, since it's a warpable bonfire, he could go for the Painted Ward, get RTSR via GSM, and then go to Isolate. But it's true that the Isolate bosses don't really need RTSR all that much, because even though they have a certain amount of health, Dragon Tooth does a ton of damage.
Yeah.
And the resistances are not all that high either. We'll
Kim's
see
kicking
what
off
he does.
Lordrek right now. If you don't kill this NPC, he kills the Firekeeper Firelink Shrine, and then you can't use the bonfire anymore. He also drops a very good ring if you kill him, so that's a nice plus. I guess you don't really need to have the bonfire. Well, actually, it's no, you want the bonfire. Actually,
at some point, you want to use a Firelink Shrine as a hub, so you keep teleporting back to that one, and then from there clean all the bosses around. And it is annoying. Every warp it's about 6 seconds ITT, but RT is a lot more. Double explosion, dang! Like did not like that he survived there.
Yeah, I think Brute thought he could finish off Quail with the running attack there, so he went for it, but couldn't quite get it, and then The scary thing was that he was poisoned, since you walk through the swamp when you come here, and that poisons you, so you constantly take a little bit of damage here. But he had enough health to survive the explosion, and it was fine. So it kind of looks like Kimp is not that far behind, but the thing is, Brute has already gotten the Dark Moon Tomb bonfire. So
Yeah,
that saves.
that's some good running from Anor Londo, which is the bonfire that Kim marked, to the Dark Moon bonfire is about 43-45 seconds. So that's a decent amount of running.
But he's gonna have RTSR for these fights. Oh, well, Brute's going somewhere now. Where did he work?
Yeah, he's gonna go and do quantity search now, it seems.
Oh yeah, yeah, makes sense. He's gonna get a +5 Dragon Tooth then.
Yeah, and a ton of levels. I don't know how high they end up on this route though, but I'm guessing like 100 something.
Oh, he didn't mean to fall down there.
Yeah,
Alright, he hasn't. Oh,
you need
yeah,
to
that's.
warp. Yeah, you need to warp through Frampt, and then set the Lord Vessel. If not, he doesn't stay friendly, and then you cannot do the quantity storage.
Yeah,
which
Frampt.
depends on feeding things to Frampt.
Frampt is very particular. You have to take his relief down there. If you jump down there and place the Lord Vessel, he's like, "Oh, what have you done? That's not what we agreed on." And then he's pissed off at you.
I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, that's a bit of a mistake there. So we're just gonna catch up a little bit. And he's gonna do the quantity storage here.
No.
So he
using the drop menu, by dropping the arrows, he uses that number to get a store, and then forces that number to be used when feeding Sim to Frampt. And when you have something on the bottomless box, it has the side effect of actually creating extra copies of the things you're selling. So you're selling items that you don't have, and at the same time creating those items on the bottomless box.
He also sold Quelaag Soul 1,000 times to Frampt, or fed 1,000 times to Frampt, which gave him 10 million souls.
Casual 10 million souls. You can even keep doing that. You can, if you put the Quelaag Soul on the bottomless box and you sell 1,000, then you get 900 after selling those 1,000. Then you can sell 98, and then you can repeat the process for all the time you want and get, I don't know, 10 million souls every time, every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Another fun thing you can do is if you buy, I believe, 256 of certain item from vendor, it's actually, even if there's like if the vendor only sells one of them, it overflows, and you can buy as many you want, basically, of the things. So you can, I don't know, buy 256 crystal soul spears from Logan and then do it over and over again, so you can buy 1,000 soul spears. But I mean, you can't attune more than 10 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I guess you can attune a bit more with the range, like 12 or something, but I don't know. Dragon Tooth does scale with your strength, actually. It's a special. It's not a tail weapon.
Yeah.
Also, Dragon Tooth scales with dragon scales. Showing myself out.
We're going for the manly move swap, and it fails.
Rude is not manly enough. This is the manliness test. You need to do the move swap in the fight, and if you get it, you're a man, and if you don't get it, well, then you do the shame fight of missing hits, apparently. But yeah, this is Dragon Tooth +5 here, and it doesn't even have the move swap or the RTSR, and still does this much damage. Ooh.
Oof, got slapped, but he has enough health. Also, the extra levels that you get, every level gives you a bit of resistance. So when you level it high enough, you also become quite a bit tankier.
Yeah.
There we go. A bit accidented, but he's done with the fight.
And Kimp's done with the quantity storage. And he's gonna do the same thing, level up and upgrade his weapon. The intelligence that they level up is to use hidden body and fall control, I believe. Do they use fall control actually? I might not.
Yeah, some of them are using fall control because if you don't, you have to do plunges everywhere, and I haven't seen them doing that many plunges.
Plunge the world.
Yes.
A brute's gonna do the
kind of tricky. Some of them are super safe.
yeah. Plunge. Brute is doing the Fire Sage elevator clip. This is a very cool skip where you quit out on top of this lift, like 3 times or something. I don't know, and then that always pushes you a little bit backwards the each time, and the elevator loads a little bit after the actual level loads, so you can fall through the elevator doing this. And Fire Sage happens to stand just behind the lift, or just under the lift where you fall, so you can do a plunge on him. And he happens to also be an enemy that you can actually plunge. It's like all these things add up to the most amazing.
Yeah. The fact that he's at a silent risky makes it possible that we can plunge there, because if not, you will just straight up and die after doing a bit of damage.
Yeah, there's like 3 bosses that you can actually plunge. Taurus, a Silent Demon, and Fire Sage Demon. Stray Demon you actually can't even plunge, even though he's looks exactly like a Silent Demon and Fire Sage, but I guess they don't want people punching him from the top and do like a lot of damage to him or something. I don't know, but like it's very, very amazing skip, I think.
Yeah, the only sad part about Fire Stage elevator clip is that it can only be done on PC, because since the elevator is on a different area, it's not part of Milan's domain, part of the Demon Ruins. It loads slightly later, but PC loads the first level fast enough that your character is there, and that allows the clip through. On console, since the load is slightly slower, your character does, at the time that it appears, the elevator is already loaded.
Okay. Kimp actually did the manliness test. He's a manly man, and he managed to do it. The extra quit out he does here, while he was already falling, he does this extra quit out to make sure he's far enough back that he actually hits Fire Sage. You can miss this plunge, like if you get pushed back too much or something, you won't actually hit Fire Sage, and then you just fall to your death and die and look real silly.
Yeah, there's like 4 ways to die. You can hit the ledge, basically miss the hole, you can get hit by a branch at the top, you can bounce a Fire Sage, you can get killed by the branch below. It's just, they all look very silly, and most of the time you also lose your blood stick, which is not important for this for the speed runs, but it's a thing to be aware if you're trying it on your own runs.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need more souls after you level up with 10 million.
Yeah, this is another thing. Before before quantity storage was found, you had to like keep duping souls through the entire run. On every little window you had, trying to get an advantage. It was like, or more stamina, or a bit more health, or a bit more intelligence.
Yeah,
now you just level up once, basically, once or twice during the entire run.
Yeah, it's like, especially in the routes that use Dark Beat or sorceries of some sort, you had to squeeze out every little bit of intelligence you could get, so that you could actually hit certain breakpoints on specific bosses to kill them faster, or with less hits.
We don't need to count souls anymore.
Yeah. Both the players have killed Fire Sage, Centipede Demon, god. But by killing this boss you get the orange charging, which lets you walk on lava without taking a million damage a second.
Sadly, your eyes still take a lot of damage, so you can close one eye or just put your hand on the screen or something.
Do you think they're gonna have this in remastered still, or are they gonna fix it?
I freaking hope that at least they fix this. But given that all the particles are super shiny, I'm actually just like ordering some special protection glasses so I can play through this area, because I'm expecting that this is gonna
be even shinier.
Like your own little son.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I wasn't joking when he said that. This is the Toki bomb right here. We wanna elaborate what that means.
Well, the thing here, this is actually one of the. It's really old strat, and it's actually really cool. It's not a glitch or anything. It's what YouTube comments say. It's just pretty much thinking a bit outside the box. The seals that are on each side of Bit of Chaos can be destroyed with anything. You can roll into them. You can throw arrows. You can throw knives, lightning speeds, whatever it does damage. So by sitting at the center and aiming at the right position, you use the arc of the bomb just to make this fight fairly easier and faster. Just getting one bomb on each side, destroy the seals, and immediately go to the center. If you do it right, you don't even get the firestorm, which is like the major danger of this fight.
Yeah, well, like back in the day in 2013, we had to do this fight the normal way. And it was actually the last fight before Gwyn in a lot of routes. So this was like really annoying to have as the last thing, because you just had to hope that you don't get screwed over by firestorm. But then Toki found this amazing strat, and everything's great. This fight is consistent unless you get really unlucky with firestorm.
Yeah, and even then though, since a lot of the runs can get more health now because of the quantity storage, you can survive the firestorm. Unless you get the glitch in which the firestorm does double damage and then you get killed anyway, but it doesn't happen all that often.
Well, Bruce is gonna head to the asylum now because he wants to get this ESM RTSR.
Yeah,
so
he
he's
has
gonna
been going with other TSR the entire run. Just basically gonna get it for like the final third or so.
Well, DLC fights is are the major thing that you want there for, I guess. Since the DLC bosses have the most health and most resistances out of enemy boss in the game, so not having RTSR for those would make the fights a lot less consistent and also a lot slower.
Yeah, Kim died once to ONS. He didn't lose damage with it, but Brute hasn't died, and that gave him the lead.
Yeah, but Brute did lose a little bit of time to the warp-in shenanigans with Tramps, or the warp out. He fell down the hole and had to warp out and warp back in. That was a decent bit of RTA, not as much in-game time, I guess, but still. Yeah, I'm assuming he's gonna do ESM, like he didn't get RTSR earlier, and he seems to be going for Painted Wall now, so I assume he's gonna do ESM. Meanwhile, Kimp's heading to the forest. There's two bosses here, the Butterfly and Safe. For the DLC, you want to have this bonfire before you go to the DLC, since this is the closest bonfire to the entrance of the DLC. But to go to the DLC, you have to first kill a Hydra, then kill a Crystal Golem, then summon talk to Dusk, then go to Duke's Archives and kill a Golem there and get a broken pendant that allows you to go to the DLC. It's very nice game design. It's like, hey, I figured this shit out.
Very easy to find progression. I mean, you don't need guides or anything.
Yeah, very intuitive.
Yeah,
thing.
super intuitive. Also, before if you kill Dusk before talking to her, before you could get locked out of the DLC, you can just restart the run or the game or do it on the next XP. That's luckily that's fixed. It was fixed a few years ago. You can kill her if you want. But I do remember getting locked out of the DLC back in the day, a few times.
Well, there were like the routes that were heavily mage focused, and you really want the Dusk Crown for those. So if you said no to Dusk, then you don't get Dusk's Crown. And it's like, the only way to say no to Dusk is by actually switching the option, because you always quit out just before, and that switches the option to yes. So Dusk is always on yes when you talk to her. You want to say yes, and there are a few runners who have said no to Dusk in these routes, and it's like, oh, what have you done? Brute killed Gwendolyn there. It's a pretty simple fight, but this weapon just do so much damage. And now he's going to the painted wall, and Kim just killed the Hydra, which is... you need to kill the Hydra to make this crystal golem over here spawn, and this is the crystal golem you need to kill to make the crystal golem in Dukes drop the thing you need. Well, actually you need to talk to Dusk, but to spawn Dusk you need to kill this golem. And painted wall is also pretty simple in a speedrun. There's a lot of enemies here, but they don't really bother you if you just run through. In a casual playthrough, this land is peaceful and its inhabitants are kind.
Especially the one wheel.
Yep, especially the sewer section. Very nice.
These harpies here, if you're wondering why he's bothering to kill them, it's because they have extremely broken hitboxes, and then it just happened. He was way behind the harpy and still got hit.
People complain about Dark Souls 2 hitboxes. SMH. There's the red sign soapstone, which is gonna turn into RTSR. Well,
so the thing is, like red soapstone has the same ID number as the red tearstone, but they are different types of items. But by using ESM, which is completely cramping your inventory with weight, which is like a leftover mechanic from Demon Souls, in which like things had weight and they affected your movement speed and your equip load. The leftover code is still there. Your limit is 10,000. So with the quantity storage, you get 999 pikes that completely fills up his inventory, and that allows him to do some shenanigans with the menu. Forced to use the red tearstone on the ring slot, and since it has the same ID and it's on the ring slot, the game says, "Oh well, you just put this thing that has the same number. This must
that must be the red tearstone ring." Yeah.
I mean, it has to be.
What else could it be?
What else can it be? Exactly. What else can it be? You're gonna blame the game for this.
I don't know what brute brother to kill the archers when he's not even using RTSR for this fight. It's like that was just silly. Priscilla turns invisible. Dies very fast to Dragon Tooth +5, and Kim meanwhile kills Sif, which you have to kill for the ring.
Yeah, don't blink when they're entering boss fights.
Yeah, in DLC you can blink a little bit on Khalid and Manus, I guess, but not that much either. Because the Dragon Tooth +5. Yeah, Artorias is not really a fight with this weapon. I mean, you can die on it if you screw up, but...
What? How?
I don't know, if you screw up! That's what I said! Kim's gonna kill Butterfly. Butterfly is actually a pretty slow fight in this route, because she's flying up there. What are you gonna do there? Throw firebombs.
You bastard! And he just cannot do anything.
Yeah, and you also have to wait a little bit here. You can't actually hit the butterfly now, just when he actually threw that bomb, like the bomb actually hits. If you throw that bomb too early, it just goes through the butterfly.
Yeah, when you see the tail going nuts, that's when you're free to damage it.
Yeah.
Nice, not a single bomb missed.
Oh, very good. And now he's used Dark Sign, loses all his souls. Everyone's like, "Oh no, all those souls!" But he doesn't need them, so he doesn't care.
It's actually a bit confused as well. Before in some fights, like for example in Sif and in Butterfly, you are a bit pressed on time to actually view, so you can't mess it up. And if you take too long and the victory achieved message pops up, it's gonna close your menu, so you can end up like losing time. Since you don't need to level up anymore, it's just so much easier to just use the Dark Sign for everything.
Yeah, and Bruce gonna do the forest segment now. He already did the 2 Underlander bosses that were left. Kim's gonna do those after DLC, I believe.
Yeah.
And Kim's going to the Seath's place, Duke's House now. And he's gonna kill the golem, and after that kill Seath, and then go to the DLC.
Yeah, so when they go to Darkwood, you know that they're gonna be locked into certain boss order, which is basically the Darkwood bosses, Seath, and then the DLC. It's kind of like one of the only sections in the game that there is no other faster way to do it. They're like kind of like far away sections, so to speak.
It's just the fastest way to do this is split this, and there's not really anything you can do about it. If you want to go fast, you have to do it this way. Every other bonfire is kind of far away from the DLC, so when you go to the forest, you kill the bosses, you want to do the DLC after that. Because if you lose that bonfire, you have to run a long way back to the forest. I was the golem there. If you kill him before you talk to Dusk, you don't get the pendant. So hope you, in your casual playthrough, killed the talk to Dusk before you came here, because otherwise you're probably never gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I had to check the guide as well.
And Kim's gonna do the Duke skip. The
Is this the oldest
one of the
strat?
It's probably the oldest.
Yeah. How old is this thing?
It's from 2012.
This is pre-PC, right?
Yeah, I believe so. This is actually
yeah, before PC was even a thing.
Back in the day, this was the hardest skip in the game, and it's like, oh wow, you're actually gonna go for Duke skip? It only says 5 minutes, man. It's not worth going for. But no, that wasn't. That's a bit of a bit of an over-exaggeration. But yeah, getting this, like, the skip used to be harder because there was no setup for it really. But the running setup is yeah, Namu's running setup is very nice. It was really consistent. Yeah, you did the double roll and it was horrible.
Double roll, yeah, it was pretty terrible. God, I forgot about it. I think my brain just like put it in the back.
Yeah, you don't want to remember that. It's not worth. It was like, oh, I got Duke skip 3 times in a row. Whoa, it was a great day. It's like, oh.
Yeah, the overall was a bit wonky.
Yeah, in any percent runs back in the day, you did seed segment the first after ONS because you wanted to get Duke skip out of the way.
So you get to reset right away.
Well, actually, there's also 3 lizards here, which were used to get Twinkling Titanite for your Black Knight Halberd. Rip.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're gonna see that probably pretty soon again.
Oh yeah. Remaster, bring back Black Hole Mage. Come on, remember Black Hole Mage.
That's the thing with the remaster, though. It's something new in which you can do 3-year-old rounds. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, you can do the old Pyro route where you kill a stray with a bandit knife.
Oh jeez. +0?
That route is the best. That's actually the best route of all time. You needed 20k more souls, and you're like, how do I do this? Well, I'll just go straight with bandit knife. It makes sense. There was no duping back in the day. You guys had it so good.
You've been got introduced on 105, I think, 106, something like that.
No, we didn't know about duping back in the day. Duping was found in like late 2013, early 2014.
Yeah, something like that. I remember it was introduced. It wasn't possible before.
Oh yeah, there was the what's it called, the Dragon Head soul glitch that you could use, but it was like frame perfect or something.
Oh,
so it was like.
And you got to go all the way down to Ash Lake. Yeah, it doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah, it's not really fast, is it? Yeah, I don't think you can run optimal on remaster if there's no move swap.
There's no move swap on remasters.
Slow weapons. Slow weapons were not used before move swap because they were just too slow.
Gold Tracer will rise again.
Yeah, Big Edge is too good, man.
I don't know. Semi Tracer, I gotta. No, there's no way. Big Edge is gonna be the only thing.
You have to go all the way to DLC to even get it. That's so much more time. Like, what are you gonna use before now? I don't know, Crystal Halberd?
Well, it's not bad.
Crystal Halberd
You can
against
get used to the terrible
Oh,
move
and
swap.
without move swap. Oh.
You can get used to the terrible moveset. It's just
I
it's not
know.
that
I
bad.
used that weapon without move swap. I know. Dude. Okay, Kim's entering the DLC now. First boss Guardian. If you died this boss, you had to run all the way back. It's a very bad death to have.
Honestly,
Hopefully
all
that
the
won't
bosses
happen.
in this section really, like dying to any point, at any point in the Duke's Archives, even at the very beginning, it's just at least a minute loss. And the further down you go, the more of a time goes. On the
Oh
DLC,
yeah,
it's kind of
yeah.
the same thing. It's like gigantic long fights. I mean, runs.
And
That was okay damage once I
yeah,
click
it's
on.
a pretty decent damage there, I would say. The thing is, if you die in Dukes, these elevators, or the first elevator is gonna be up, so you have to get that down again, and then yeah, it's a mess. Oh, Kim's. I guess he wants to catch up. He's not going for any bonfires.
Okay. Yeah, the thing of not checking that bonfire is that you keep the RTSR set up. Because
Yeah.
getting the RTSR set up back here, it's a bit slow.
Yeah.
But that bonfire is like the fastest pitch bonfire to get. Like the safe as a safety bonfire is the fastest one that you can get in the entire game, along with the I don't know, Manus. So it is a bit scary if anything goes wrong. But there really, except the two scarecrows that are right here that he quit out for, nothing else should be going wrong. And he's gonna use the plunges. You're gonna see this the
Well,
first plunge we'll see.
let's see if we get to blame Stennis for a plunge or not. I don't know if even this Stennis set up or not.
The plunge is basically what they do. They were found very recently, December last year, if I recall. If you do a plunge attack and then you get pushed to the side, it allows you to reset the plunge. Oh, it's steady setup! Dun 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 dun. Okay, it went okay. It allows you to reset the plunge animation, which is not done normally. So when you're about to hit the ground, you do a roll. The roll has iframes. You iframe the fall damage, and then you get skip. And this skip became a lot more consistent now because it was a terrible mess before. It
Yeah,
required
before you had to
control.
lure an enemy there,
Yeah.
make him fall off, and then bounce off him to hit the surface that you can actually quit out on. And yeah.
Yeah, because you cannot save, your position does not get saved on mobile platforms, so elevators do not save your position when you quit out on them or when you die on them or anything like that.
Artori is actually dodging an attack, but he's still
Wow.
dead because he goes for the buff.
Yeah.
That could have
I
been
had to sneeze
scary.
and I missed the fight.
Okay, he's gonna take this bonfire because you do need this one for
Yeah,
Calamines.
you need it. You need to come
So
back here.
you're gonna have a... No, don't need to clench so hard for now.
So I'm not sure if Blood is still... We actually don't know. I mean, Kim did die, but the death wasn't terribly costly.
Yeah, and Brute did lose time too.
Yeah.
So
Kim is 2 bosses ahead, but not really because Brood already did 2 bosses that Kim has to do later. So it's hard to say. But Kim has a longer run to do to go back to one of the bosses that Brood already killed. So if Brood is ahead, it's not by much.
yeah, it's pretty close right now for sure.
So now we're rooting for Brood to die at least once, so the death becomes closer.
And Bruce's gonna do butterfly now.
Well, he's not gonna die to that.
He did the forest bosses in a kind of different order than Kimp. Kimp did the forest bosses first and then Seas, but Bruce doing it the other way around.
Yeah, it doesn't matter much. In some routes you're gonna see butterfly done after Seath, just because you can use a Grey Heavy Solarro, if I recall. Yeah, Grey Heavy Solarro, and that gives you a faster butterfly fight. Now, why is you doing?
I don't know, he's just memeing, I guess. And Kimp there went to say hi to Calamite. You need to go see Calamite fly past, and after that, if you talk to Goff, he's gonna have an option of, oh, does Calamite like bully you or something? And then you can be like, yeah, Calamite's a big bully, can you help me? And then he's gonna shoot Calamite down, you can actually fight him down. on the arena instead of having him fly all over you and breathe fire. Well, that wasn't the fastest butterfly fight there, but
Yeah, missed a few arrows. I mean, a few bombs, and he got hit by the heavy attack that does stagger you even with the full stone set.
and now he's going for Sif. You said 2 bosses ahead, but he's 3 bosses ahead, or was 3 bosses ahead. 4 bosses even if you count
Oh
butterfly.
yeah, I forgot. I didn't notice that
No,
he hadn't
no,
done
no,
butterfly
no,
yet.
never mind. He killed Sif already.
Yeah.
Okay, he was 3
Yeah,
bosses ahead. Now he's 2 bosses
yeah.
ahead. In
We
but
know how
then
to
again,
count. Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
we know how.
Well, it's counting's hard. Okay. Are you going for the
I mean, I'm not
punch
going
here?
to school anymore.
Wait,
Forget
no,
this
he's
thing.
not going for the punch. What am I saying? Is he?
He might. I mean, he can. He's not gonna do it. Boo. This plunge is actually slightly tricky because there is a depending on the weapon, the plunges have certain amount of duration. So you have length of the plunge in which you cannot reset the animation yet, so you cannot roll. So if the jump is too short, you're not going to be able to roll. Then you have a length in which you can roll, and then you have a length in which you cannot roll anymore. Your character just kind of like stands up in the middle of the air, and then there's nothing you can do at that point. So for that plunge, the one here at the Hydra, you need a fast drop, and sometimes it can be a bit clunky, and you get like slightly slower. The animation resets just at the point that you need to roll, but you can't, and then you die, and then you lose like a minute and a half by dying there. So
Okay,
it's quite
let's see
understandable.
how the Broodian's gonna be today. Are we gonna get 20
Well,
lightning attacks again?
he did learn after the first fight to punish that. Well, there you go. One lightning. Then that comes by one. With one though, sadly. No four. And there's 2. And that's it. That's not hot.
Kimb also killed a Mimic there at one point. That's a Mimic drops a key that opens the door to Cough, which you do need to shoot calm it down. Now he's gonna go to Menace.
Need to trigger the epic cutscene.
Yeah. That's cutscene's very good if you use the enemy randomizer.
It changes the cutscene too. Oh my god, I have
Yeah.
to play that thing.
It changes like all the cutscenes, pretty much. Almost all the cutscenes have an enemy randomizer are changed. And this is Manus. A lot of people consider this fight hard, but when you learn it, he's actually like very. What have I said? What have I done? I'm sorry.
What happens there is that the hand, for some reason, is the only part of Manu's body that allows him to get staggered. And you're doing so much poise damage and so much damage with the Dragon Tooth that it creates an animation reset when that happens. So basically, he cancels whatever he was doing and immediately starts another attack. That threw Kimp off and he mistimed the roll, sadly.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's hard about that fight is the animation cancel that can happen.
Yeah. So you either avoid hitting the hand when it's try to avoid hitting the hand at all and go only for the body, or you wing it, but you have to be extremely aware of that possible animation cancel.
Yeah, it's, but like all his attacks are very telegraphed. So
Yeah.
if that doesn't like the only way that only happens if you have a move swap. Like you can't really normally cause that to happen, but with move swap, it's very easy to actually make that happen. So
Yeah,
you have to be.
it happens every time with with other heavy weapons. It's just a lot harder to do. It's still doable, but it's a lot harder.
You have to like be careful of that. It throws you off really easily though, because it just like. Yeah.
Not steady setup. So now we really need Brute to die.
Kim's still not going for the bonfire, he's not scared. He was a manly man against Tesla, so why would he not do that? No.
Yeah, that was sadly a long run because of the lack of bonfire. But yeah, as we said, it's usually a very consistent fight, so you're not really expected to die at all.
Oh yeah, the ring that they equipped here, or Kim just did, what's it called?
The RTSR setup.
Yeah, the RTSR setup ring, it halves your health when you put it on, and when you take it off, you don't get your health back, so you can very easily get to RTSR setups with combining that with fall damage, since fall damage is percentage based.
Superior mechanics.
And yeah, that's the menace fight that
That's
you would
where it's supposed
expect.
to go, yeah.
The thing with taking the menace bonfire is that when you warp back, you would have to like warp from the bonfire to this bonfire, so it saves a little bit more time than you would think.
It does waste like especially RTA, I would say like about, I don't know, 15-20 seconds between marking the bonfire, warping, and then marking the bonfire on the township again. Ooh, Brute having a bit of a bit of a fun time with the
What
bloody
is it
head.
doing? Okay.
Sorry.
Kim's gonna go fight the last DLC boss, Calamid now. He talked to Goff, who shut down Calamid in a cutscene that we don't get to see because that's slow.
After that, after you are out of the DLC, you are basically free to do whatever you want in the order that you want, and just wrap up and finish all the bosses before heading to win.
Yeah, there's like 2 of the Lord Soul bosses left and a bunch of other side bosses that they haven't fought yet. The Lord Souls, wait no, one is Lord Soul, what am I saying? They did better case already. So there's only Nito left of the 4 Lord bosses.
4 Kings. Yeah, none of them I have done 4 Kings yet.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, it's 4 Kings and Nito. And I'm like,
It's
no,
fine.
wait.
Age, we understand.
Yeah, that field went old.
Grandpa Dubist.
Calamid can be
one of the quite special.
Oh wow, this is some interesting AI from Calamid. Okay, that's
The 2 major problems with Calamid is one when he does this long winded attacks or the flying and he's next to a wall. Because then he's just gonna stop in place and his entire body becomes an active hitbox. The other one is that his hitboxes are not all that great.
it's the long sweeping attack you can get caught in. Oh, it's unfortunate. But there's the long sweeping attack with his neck that he does that you can get caught in, and I believe that has more active damage frames than you have iframes in your roll. So if you get hit by that in a bad way, you'll just die because you're an RTSR. But of course, you can counteract that by positioning yourself properly in regards to the boss. So it's not like completely unfair, nothing I could have done.
And then we saw, if you were watching on the left side, you could see him like literally not going for a chance that he had to attack, because he was a bit too far, and the only thing he could have hit was the hand, and he just decided not to go for it because of the animation cancel.
Oh. Let's see if Kimp can beat Calamite on the second try. And the RTSR setup ring is in use again. So what you either want to do, depending on the drop, is you either have it on the whole time and take it off after the drop, like here, or you take it off before the drop, and that's like depending on how far the drop is. You can set up RTSR very easily in a lot of places. There's like few RTSR setups that don't actually use fall damage, and they are like the worst things because you have to rely on enemies. I guess the Silver Knight.
Yeah, basically just Windling, ONS, Gargoyles if you use
Well,
it there.
Quindle, the ONS is pretty consistent, but the Sif one is just horrible.
Oh yeah, Sif. Yeah, because you have a consistent knight, and she can do basically 4 different attacks. No, 5, 6,
Yeah.
6 different attacks.
Consistent Knight is consistent.
Well, I don't know, she's doing what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, being consistent.
She's still there to make your life easy.
Kim pressed it at the bonfire there to mark it as his warp bonfire, basically. So when he uses Dark Sign, he's gonna go back to that bonfire now. He's gonna do the Lower Berg and Depths now, which is Captor Demon and Gaping Kraken.
These are fairly early bosses usually, so this is gonna be quite the unfair fight.
Yeah. The +5 Dragon Tooth is not a very fair weapon to use with Moonswap. Oh,
this is the second
Brood
swing, but
died.
not really. Ooh, died to Calamite.
Okay.
That's a bit of a chance for Kim to catch up.
Yeah.
No, he needs to die one more time, and they're basically even on death. But Kim did get the death.
Kim had a Manus death,
the
which
Manus
is
death, and that's
so
yeah,
long.
It was a really long run back.
He does have RTSR for Gaping now. Hopefully he doesn't get hit by this dog. Oh.
No, why are you killing? No, but you had
Aw.
RTSR. Oh.
Well, there's the other rats that can hit you, and these
What? No,
guys.
it doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, the game crashed. His game
Oh,
crashed.
no.
Oh my god. This
This
is
is-
a spot in which this can happen. It's very easy for this to happen. I'm guessing Kim was playing the game before the race and he didn't restart.
Yeah,
Because the longer
that's...
the game is running, the more chances you have for this particular crash to happen. So this is pretty terrible because it takes up quite a bit of RTA time to go back into it. Especially because the logos are there. Bandai Namco Games TM.
Oh, he
From
doesn't
Software
have
TM.
the logo.
He doesn't
Yeah,
have
he
the no
doesn't have
logo.
That's
Havoc, of
pain.
course, TM.
That's it feels really bad when that happens to you. Especially in a race, like in a real run, it's like it's in game time, so it doesn't matter that much. Of course, you don't want it, but in a race, it's just so brutal. And yeah,
Yeah, IGT basically just wastes like the 2-3 seconds that it takes for your character to like do the rise animation. That's pretty much it. But yeah, on a race, it's quite terrible to get.
Albert managed to kill Calamite.
Oh
He's
yeah,
heading
he's going
to-
to another TSR setup, but it does not like really needed it though. It might
Yeah, I
have
mean, he has
actually one
+5
attack.
Dragon too.
He's gonna do a ton of damage no matter what.
Let's see if he gets that. Yeah, he got a good opening. So Gaping can either do that slam, or he can not do that slam, which is what you don't want because
he's like, oh
yeah,
hello, I'm gonna
just walks at you.
slowly walk toward you.
So if you dodge the slime, you can hit his head, and he takes a lot more damage in his head than his body. So if you don't get it, it's kind of really bad.
Yeah, you either just try to wing the fight, but it's gonna be slower, or just quit out and try to keep attack again. So Kim heading for Stray Demon. So I'm guessing he's gonna do either Pinwheel and Mito or for King's After and leave Windling and Priscilla as last bosses.
There's no reason to not do that order. You want to do the bosses from this bonfire that you can, and then head to Anorlando, the other two bosses.
What Brute did right there is just do a pretty quit out. Basically, you quit out after you get the item from Capra Demon, which means that the fight is done and the game registers it done, but before the victory achieve message. So when you quit out, when you load back into the game puts you outside of the fog gate, like if the fight had not finished yet, but the boss does register as dead, so it saves you the whole having to back to the entrance and having to deal with the enemies that are like eagerly awaiting for you right at the fog gate.
So Brute has 4 Kings, Nito, Pinwheel, Gwen, I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those just 3 bosses and then the final Flaming Grandpa.
Yeah, but it's the hardest boss in the game, to be fair. That's why he's the last boss.
But does he parry win, or is he gonna go for the move swap?
I'm not sure. I don't think he picked up the Hornet Ring, so I think he's gonna go for the move swap.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he did actually, but...
No, Brood is definitely on the lead.
yeah.
Kim is missing 2 bosses.
Yeah,
and
so
they're basically gonna...
they're in the same spot.
4 minutes behind.
Yeah, it's the 2 bosses in Orlando, which is a lot of running. And well, the boss fights are not long.
Yeah,
at least, hopefully. I mean, Gwendolyn can take a lot.
Yeah, it can take way too much skill, and
Kim went for the no quit out strand here. Brood quit out to reset the skeleton so they wouldn't block him, but Kim just ran through because he's a manly man. But yeah, if you don't quit out there, the skeletons can block you. It doesn't happen every time, of course, but there's a chance of it happening.
It's kind of cool though, they're like the exact same boss. I mean, on the exact same thing that dies in half a second.
Yeah, that's Pinwheel. Oh, there's a little special thing there. If you have the menu open while the victory achieves screen pops up, and then you close the menu, you can instantly try to ladder. Otherwise, you have to wait for the message to like go away. There is like there's like a frame perfect, I believe, a thing that you can trap the ladder instantly if you press the button on the right frame. But just opening the menu makes it like way more consistent. Like, well, not it makes 100% consistent that you'll get a fast ladder. I guess it's gonna be like, I don't know, 10 frames maybe, slower if even that. Yeah, and Tomb of the Giants, when you know the route through here, it's pretty easy. Just
very short as well.
yeah. This is also a lizard that was used in a run of any percent like ages ago where you got +5 PKH after Nido. That was before most of I think you did like Seethed after ONS to get +4 and then you did Nito to get +5 and then you did the rest of the bosses. And you left 4 kings for last so you could drop the Fab Ring there and still get 2 kings with RTSR. They're gonna use the stone armor for Nito because Nito, there's these skeletons in the fight. Using RTSR in this fight is a bit risky since the skeletons will kill you very easily. But if you just use stone armor, you can basically tank all the attacks of Nito and also the skeletons. The skeletons keep reviving until Nito dies, unless you have a holy weapon or a divine weapon, what's it called? Nito's actually really bad usually at hitting you when you're right next to him. He just misses. I don't know. He's an old man. He has bad eyesight.
Was just taking a nap.
Just come here and ruin his party. And Brute's gonna head to the last boss he has left before Quinn, 4 kings. Normally you would have to drain the water here, but you can just not do that if you do the skip, what's it called? Seal skip?
Yeah.
You can actually run in the water in specific spots, and if you code out in a proper way, we'll see Brute do it just in a second. I'm not shaming anyone. He's an old man. He just wants to be left alone, and you go there and bully him. It's Cimp and Brute doing the bullying here, not me. I sympathize with Nito.
Oh, the Ivan stop. Didn't work. Basically what they want to do here is just land in a little slope just before hitting the ground and quit out there. It saves your position down there, but it doesn't trigger the death. So when you load back into the game, you're down there, and then it's just a little roll into a lower area, which is actually out of bounds, but there's no kill box of any kind, so you can just like right there where Blue is showing up. Oh, and Kim sadly missed the skip and died.
Yeah, that's if without full control, you do need to hit quit out on pretty specific timing.
Yeah, it's kind of finicky.
Yeah, with full control, it's very lenient. Full control like delays your death animation, or like, well, the death timing in the animation by a decent bit, so
yeah,
you
it's
can
a lot easier.
have more time. Brute just dropped a piece of equipment there, so he knows he can use that as a reference for where the second king will be when he spawns. So that's a bad attack, but I guess it doesn't matter, you can just kill him. Okay. Yeah, when you fall in the specific spot and drop this item, you can use that. You just run that, and the second king spawns pretty close to it.
Yeah, having a point of reference is good. This fight gets really messy if it goes for too long, because you're not in an infinite space. This is just a giant circle, and there is no clue whatsoever when you are reaching the end. Except that you know that you're running in place and then get killed.
You have no reference really if you don't drop the item. And that's the 2 king strat. Yeah, there's supposed to be 4 kings, but you can do damage to the actual boss health bar that's in the bottom if you keep hitting the king while he's dying. Like his hitbox stays there, so you can damage him during the whole time and overkill him basically. You can even kill 4 kings by just killing one of the kings. If you have enough damage.
Or none of the kings, if you're far
Yeah,
enough.
you do the bow strat. But, that doesn't take long at all.
Well, that mechanic, that basically the damage is consistent on the main health bar, but you can do bonus damage or reduce damage to the kings themselves, is what allows to also to get 2 kings on bow only, which I'm the only one that does it. Because if you abuse that, you throw arrows from really far away, damaging the king very little, but you do pretty massive damage on the main health bar. The least kings you have, the better, because less time waiting around for the second one or the third one to spawn.
Yeah, the main thing about the fight is that you have to actually wait for the second king, and if you have 3 kings, then the third king will spawn. And, well, God forbid you go for 4 kings, or 5 kings. Ooh. You can actually, yeah, it's, I think it's possible to have 5 kings.
Yeah,
Pretty
if you
sure.
don't do any overkill on the kings, I think you can. On higher ranges, you can end up fighting like 7 or 8 sometimes.
I mean, if you kill 3 of the kings and then wait around, all the 4 kings will spawn up again, so in that way you can, like, they just keep spawning up to 4 until you kill them.
Oh, he did have the Hornet Rings, so he did go for the parry. It's gonna be just 2 parries, 2 repose, and Flaming Grandpa will go down. We're doing very little damage to him. Yeah, just 2000 damage per repose. And that's it! Brute advances to the losers semi-final versus Nax, which is gonna be
a
at some
losers
point
final?
during... Yeah, losers finals.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah,
And
but what
then...
I meant with 5 kings is that you have to actually kill or hit 5 kings to kill them, since if you can kill 4 kings and the boss will be still alive. But yeah,
140,
Brood,
pretty fast fight.
pretty decent run by Brood. Only he died once,
Only
or...
1 death to Calamit, that was it really?
Yeah, and then he had
Very minor mistakes outside
yeah,
of that.
that
Missing bombs
was
of butterfly.
because his in-game time was 117 something. Pretty decent.
Show the in-game time! Why is
He
he alt-tabbing? He's alt-tabbing.
he showed it on the timer. It was 117 something,
Oh, dang
48
it.
maybe, I
I
don't know.
missed it. And Kimp wrapping up the last 2 bosses, Windlin and Priscilla, before going for Win himself.
Quinlan is also a really nice boss to have as one of the last bosses, because it's a completely skill-based boss, and if you lose time here, it's completely your own fault and nothing.
It's your fault.
The game,
The game is not at fault.
nothing. You could have just played better. So Quinlan has 3 attacks. The homing soulmass thing, where he shoots a bunch of soulmasses that float towards you slowly. Then the blast with the big soul train or whatever. And then the arrow attack. The arrow is the one you want, because it makes him stand around the longest. So you can actually hit him before he teleports away. When you get too close to him, he just teleports away. So the other attacks are so fast that you can't really get hits in if you don't go right around there. Like, the only consistent attack to get damage on is this arrow attack. And Kim's gonna go through Painted World. Nothing special here, really. Only 2 bosses left. Priscilla and Quinn.
Yep, that's gonna be it.
Oh, look what you done! You woke him up. He's pissed off now.
He's just playing around. He's just like just do his thing, stretch his legs, even though they are like left behind and stuff. But you know,
Why are they killing these archers? You're not using RTSR. What are they gonna do to you?
I don't know why they bully the archers. I guess it's just like the pent up frustration from all the other ones. I guess.
I guess.
Oh, using the knife to mark Priscilla, so that way there's no wandering around where she is because floating knife.
If you get lucky, I guess you can also see her with the lock on.
Yeah, it was a bit redundant there because the lock on worked just fine for him.
Yeah. It doesn't work if Priscilla like goes behind you somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and now it's just Quinn left.
Oh yeah, there's a Bloodborne tournament as well coming up on when is it? At the end of May, if I recall.
Yeah, I think so.
You can still join up if you want to offer that. There is not that many people, but there is still a good amount. I think there's 15, 16 people, something like that.
Are you gonna join it, Milt?
Oh yeah, when I have my brain to not like puke when I play 30 FPS games, maybe.
Oh, you can use the boost mode and get more solid 30.
Smooth 30 FPS.
The more solid 30 FPS. Maybe you don't
Or
drop.
just like how much is the PS4 Pro by now?
I don't know. But like, I don't know, the lecture hall? That definitely doesn't drop any frames at all.
But that's gonna be fun to watch as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad these tournaments are popping up. We just need a Dark Souls 2 one now and a Dark Souls 3 one.
Who's gonna run in that?
Well, you could run. Let's just say you just run against a VOD of yourself.
Okay.
Stennis runs it too, and Profla will probably run.
Yeah, we can do the 80% race where we both die the Watcher for 15 minutes.
Maybe we'll do it in Scholar.
Oh. Maybe we do this one a remaster.
We can do remaster next year.
We can do remaster in like 2 weeks.
No, but I mean, like we have to lure people into remaster. We have to like I don't know, throw candy or something. We could offer candy on the
you could just, like I don't know, get all
Is that
the
legal?
bandwagon streamers to join the remaster tourney.
Bandwagon stream.
Well, you have to do it early because otherwise they'll leave remaster already.
Blind remaster race.
Well, I mean, sure. Okay. Yeah.
I can fake like I don't know the game. I'm a pretty good actor.
Well, it's a new game. How would you know it? Okay, Kim finishes some
I can make a new account.
some very unlucky things here for him.
Yeah,
well,
unfortunately, sadly.
Sort of unlucky, and I mean there were some like that crash was just unfortunate
Yeah, that was
for
very,
sure.
very unfortunate.
And like the Manu stats, yeah, guess he could have played that better, I suppose, but it's still.
Yeah, I feel like the Oranese was a bit unlucky because he honestly just managed to jump over one of the running attacks and avoid dying, but just a tiny bit. It was the first one. No matter though, still a nice race, still not a bad time. And Kim did a very good show through the tournament. What are you doing here? I mean, hello, bro.
Hello. Thought you were gonna like drag us in or something.
I don't know
I
what
was
I'm
waiting there for literal years, man.
Okay,
There's no time.
Yeah, congrats on the victory, Brood, and
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats, bro.
Thanks.
so do you have anything to say about your run?
Galamit.
I feel like Kimp might have the same comments, but he might have had some other things to say as well. That crash in depths was so unfortunate.
Oh, you got a depth crash? Oh, that's unfortunate.
But yeah.
The other thing I really lost time to was, oh yeah, I mean, if you like want your character to stop walking, it would be nice if he actually like stops walking and not just runs off in the gap in front of Front anyway.
That was a bit so.
So I
Was
had
I-
to
what-
no info.
Was I
Oh,
ahead
no.
at Manus? Was I ahead there at Manus?
You
Or
were
was-
probably about
Yeah.
here, I would say.
Okay.
Oh dang, was it that close so long?
Yeah, I died to Manus and then Calamite and then...
Yeah, the Manus death was.
Yeah, that was the
so,
cost of
so
it.
long. It's like.
It's such a long run.
Yeah.
Oh, he also didn't take the bonfire, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Still a nice show
Um,
though. Very, very deep into the tournament.
Yeah.
Brute is hyped.
Hooray!
He's gonna stay Such hype.
Just wanna play other games, man.
You're stuck here forever.
Yeah, now I'm gonna win to next as well as my punishment, and then destroy Camus. It's quite a sad fate, really.
Kamal was
Have to
saying
play
that
the
make it past the
remaster
barrel?
You
version.
have to lose to get more points on the fantasy tournament.
Oh yeah, that's rigged. The tournament organizer going into the finals.
The death scratch was me actually doing that from up here. Oh, but thanks for racing, Kim.
Yeah, thanks for both of you for doing the race.
Yeah, for organizing tournament. It's pretty awesome.
That's to
Yeah, doing
Typo and
watch
Brood,
the
I
race.
guess.
I did things. I had the idea, I guess. Typo is like did most of it though, like 90%.
And thanks to the restreamers and Speed Gaming for allowing this to be on this channel and organizing all the story streams. It's very helpful.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
thanks
yeah,
to
yeah,
Milt
that's-
for being my fantastic co-commentator.
Make duck sounds now.
Alright.
Alright. I'm gonna hop off, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Take care.
Bye bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Take it. So with that, we're closing one of the last few races. We have now the losers finals on round 8, which is, well, I don't know when it's going to be scheduled yet. It's going to be Nax versus Brood. The winner of that goes to against Kamul. That's going to be the grand finals.
Goes
This
against
has been,
Supreme
like, what?
Leader.
Supreme
It's the-
Leader. Is it, wait,
so-
do they fight for the title? They
So
do-
what happens is, since Kamol has not lost a single match yet, if he loses in the finals, then there's gonna be it's a best of 3, but Kamol starts with 1 win, I guess.
Yeah.
So if whoever wins between Nax and Brood beats Kamol, then they have to beat him again to actually win the tournament because
Oh, right, because since it's double elimination.
Yeah,
a
it's
good way
double
to do it because
elimination.
I thought they were going to do like best of 3 and then best of 3, but I don't think anyone can do like 7 hours of races.
yeah, no, it's just gonna be
So wait,
Best of
wait, does the winner get the Supreme Leader title until the next tournament? Is that how it works?
I guess I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah, we'll make it so.
It's been a nice tournament though. It's what's been going for like more than a month already.
Yeah.
We started with 20, 28, 27 participants. So it's been pretty nice to see. And actually the findings from last year, Quantity Storage and ESM made it. So at the beginning, we thought there will be like the one route, Dragon Tooth plus 5, over and over and over. Everyone's was worried about that. But in the end, we saw so many variations of the routes that even people doing the same route ended up doing different things.
Yeah, it's very nice
Which,
seeing like
yeah.
all the different things. This fantastic variation you can see between routes and which are still competitive with each other.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. So we're wrapping up here.
Yep.
We'll see you guys around on the next race.
Yeah, the next race will be soon, probably. Yeah, bye.
Announce. I don't know. Keep on touch. Take it, everyone. Bye bye.
Cheers.